Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave Podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network, and we are back to discuss episode 6 of season 2 of Peacemaker on HBO Max. I'm going to be one of your hosts. My name is Darian Scalamoni. I am joined by Sean Villa.
What's going on, everybody?
And Vinny Albano.
Hello.
So, guys, the reveal finally happened. If you guys are joining us and you don't think we're going to talk spoilers, this is not the video for you. We're going to break down the episode. We're going to talk about it at length. So, if you haven't had a chance to see the episode yet by this point, just, pause this for now, go watch it, come back, and then check out our discussion. But we've been speculating for a few weeks on what this may be. There were rumors on this alternate dimension, and we get the answers to that in this episode, and we find out that this is probably the closest thing to, James Gunn calls it Earth 2 in the DCU, but it is basically Earth X from the comic book. So not that that was necessarily a big reveal to us, because we were speculating that. But now that we have the revelation of that being the reality of what we're dealing with in Peacemaker Season 2, Sean, how did you feel that they executed that in this episode?
Yeah, I think the reveal itself is very well executed. I think just like, what I kind of love about it is how quickly Harcourt picks up on it. Because it reminded me of sort of the interaction that I had with like the general audience when I was actually watching the show, which is that when I was sort of like watching those first couple of episodes, I don't know anything about the comics or like Earth X or anything like that. So I was really interpreting it. And if you go back and kind of listen to what I was saying, I was very focused on like what the dimension meant from like a thematic standpoint for Chris. But then, upon like watching videos and hearing kind of the cultural zeitgeist that was going on around the show, this idea came up that it's like, oh, there's not a single person of color in the background. That's fucking weird. Whereas, I didn't notice that at all. I only did one watch through, but I like that Harcourt is someone who is in the dimension for 10 seconds before she realizes like, something kind of like weird is going on. And I think that really speaks to like her and Chris's fundamental character differences, that Chris was seeing the dimension as something that he was making it into something that it wasn't. And then upon Harcourt re-entering his life, he sort of, falls right into like a logical side, right? He goes away from this like emotional, oblivious side into something that's more grounded and intelligent. And it just sort of conveyed like the strength of their relationship really well to me, and then also provided like great character work for Harcourt. The reveal itself is edited very cleverly. I like when they do like parallel editing where people are discovering things at the same time. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I like the implication of where this is going to go. I think it's dark and fucked up, but it fits with the vibe of the show. And I'm eager to see how these next two pick it up.
Yeah. Vinny, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, perfectly put. I echo everything you said, Sean. I'm sad that this episode was so short, and how short all the episodes have been, this one being only 33 minutes. But I loved it. I mean, the reveal we kind of expected it now because people have been theorizing for weeks. So, it was kind of it was predictable, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, like, if I didn't have the internet, I would have been fucking shocked. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, what? Like, right? Because I didn't really realize that either up until you mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh my god, you're right. But yeah, the episode itself was structured perfect, and the end with Adebayo is haunting, and also really just like, what does he mean by one of them got out? That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think that, so in understanding, like you talked about, Sean, this cultural zeitgeist behind what it's been, I do think that there's certain things that obviously I wouldn't have known either because I don't read the comics, but there's aspects that, since I had speculated along with everybody else that had said that was where they were going, it's like there were little things that were other things that stood out to me. Like when I kept thinking about how Vigilante is constantly talking about like his other version of himself, which we'll get into the great interaction between both Vigilantes. But like, you start to think about like how important like Adebayo, a woman of color, is in Chris's life in the Earth we know.
Yeah.
And then see that he's going to this other world and like his best friend isn't there. And that was something that I was like, that's really interesting. And then you think about the fact that like in this Earth that we're in, the main prime Earth, I guess, however you say it, the only reason that Rick Flag Sr. is in the position he's in is because Amanda Waller was kind of outlawed. And I do think that there's going to be some sort of implication with her by the end of this. Like I think I might have said Waller last week where I was like, I don't know why I haven't, like, she has to come back. Like there has to be something else because she is such a big important part of the Shield Argus aspect. You know what I'm talking about? Like Argus is to what Shield is to the MCU and Hydra. So I think there's going to be something with that as well. And maybe, I don't know, like maybe if it's like this is just purely speculation on my point, but it's like, oh, one of them got out. It's like, are they going to rescue a bunch of like people of color that are refugees in this world, and one of them is going to be Viola Davis as Amanda Waller? That would be a really interesting concept.
That would be cool.
You know, so I don't know if they're going to go that direction, but this episode to me is great because it manages to accomplish so much in 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Like we get so much done, and that obviously the twist is a big thing. And I do like how also they for weeks were strategically planting these little mini American flags in the offices to where you couldn't see the swastikas that are on the flags in Earth 2. So interesting the way they went about the twist. It is executed really well. But let's talk about the scene between Harcourt and Chris that happens before we get the reveal. One that James Gunn said is probably his favorite scene that he wrote this season. And it is an emotional beat. And we see, and I think Jennifer Holland, we've talked, I mean, Vinny, I know definitely has been obviously praising. We all have been, but Vinny has really been championing like Jen Holland this season a lot. I think this is maybe the best acting I've ever seen her do. Did you agree? Did you agree with that, Vinny?
Oh yeah, you're talking about the scene when
in the room with her and with Chris. Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, I'm just like surprised by her because I haven't, aside from Peacemaker, haven't really seen her in anything. And I'm pretty sure before this she was a model, right?
I think so. And she was doing like a lot of, again, like kind of C movies. Like she was doing like the direct to DVD American Pie movies.
Yeah,
I think.
So it's really just incredible. I as a fan of acting, I love seeing also James Gunn. He always is able to take maybe C-list characters with, with like, lesser known actors. I don't want to say like C-list actors, but C-list actors, and bring out such a performance from them. So I love that moment in the interrogation room. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, Sean, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's such I think it's great writing between the characters. Both of them just like genuinely trying their best to have an honest conversation. But both of them are still holding to the thing that makes them comfortable. Chris is really holding on to this world. He even brings up the other Amelia that's like the perfect version of kind of like what he wants. But you can tell in their acting and in the subtext of the scene that they both really, really love each other. And whether or not that's romantic, I don't think is totally relevant to the emotional power of the scene, because I think it's just about two people that really care about each other but are just having so much trouble like being honest with each other because of like the pain that comes with that. Jennifer Holland here is really excellent. I agree with both of you guys. There's a line where I think she says, I think it's "I'm a mess," where she like yells to him or whatever. And very rarely when I'm watching actors perform, I feel like there's like a certain kind of like power that can come with the delivery where you actually kind of like tense for a second. I was like, ooh, dude, got me. Like I felt like my heart flutter a little bit. I'm like, damn, like it feels real. There's like a real like human response when you see someone like really get to an emotional high like that, because it causes discomfort like if you see it in person. And I think when that translates through a screen, it's such a special thing. And I really got it in this scene. I think like she was just really genuine. Like I just really felt it. And same with Cena. He plays such like a goofball dipshit character who literally like didn't realize that he's living in like Nazi America and he's been there for like a month. But at the same time, you could totally like really, really just like connect with him emotionally. I think Cena is such like an unbelievable performer for like his career. Like you'd never expect him to do this kind of shit. So he's been impressing me the whole show. Jennifer Holland, I think, steals the scene. But yeah, I just think like the acting across the board has been great. Like I'm impressed by like Economos. Like who would care about Economos if he wasn't like this well written, this well acted and performed? I think what's so great about this episode, and I guess we can kind of transition into that, is that this is the first time like the crew is kind of together.
Yeah, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, there's a real like cast dynamic here, where all of like our big stars are back. Freddie Stroma and Vigilante finally get something to do. And he would steal the episode were there not a couple highlights and a guest appearance that I can't wait to talk about. But yeah, I was really just impressed with everybody, and I think they're getting better as the show goes along. I'm connecting more and more with every character. It's really impressive.
I agree. I think that, so I'm glad you brought up the Cena thing too, because I do think Cena just gets better and better with the more work that he does, and I think the interesting thing is the emotional complexity and the chemistry that he has with Jennifer Holland. Like, obviously he had a different kind of chemistry with the Suicide Squad and that group dynamic, and he has a different relationship with Freddie Stroma and Daniel Brooks and Steve Agee, but there's something to the rawness of that scene, and I think Gunn might have talked about it on the Peacemaker podcast, where I agree with what you're saying, where she talks about how she's a mess, and Cena's reaction is like, I don't care, and you feel that he really doesn't. He's like, well, like, it's almost like he's like, we'll figure it out. Like, I'd rather it be with you. I don't care that you're a mess. I want to be there for you. But there's one thing that she does in this scene when she says I'm a mess too, which a lot of actors struggle to do, where it's that raw emotion where she's just about to boil over, but she's not there yet. And it's like she has the tears in her eyes, but she's not crying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that it's like everything is bundled up. And you used it in the last review we just did about like Quentin Tarantino with the rubber band. It's like you're stretching that rubber band as far as it could possibly go in terms of the human emotion until you're about to snap. And that's why I think it really is one of the best emotional scenes I think I've ever seen James Gunn write. Is how I feel about it.
You know, we talked about it. I think it might be like episode 1 or 2 where they bring up this idea that she has toxic masculinity. I love that that's kind of persistent. Like, she has a traditionally masculine arc here, where she's someone that's unable to express her emotions and is exuding it in a hostile way. And I just really like that they've given that to a female character. I've never seen that done before. And I think she's just like really killing it. Because you're right. It's like whatever she's building to, where like we get this great moment and she has the tears in her eyes, like you're saying, and she's right there. She can't allow herself to express like the sadness. Like it just won't come out. And you could feel that in her. And I think like she's got such a great understanding of like what her character is supposed to be doing in this moment, but then not letting like, you know, her core value show. Like, she's not going to cry because she wouldn't. Like, she's not there yet. And it's just fucking great writing.
It is. It really is.
It's great writing.
It's a great scene. Yeah, it might be the best scene in the show this season.
Yeah, there's a good shot. Yeah, there is.
it was really great. But yeah, let's move on to Vigilante, because we've all been waiting to talk about Freddie Stroma for weeks. Dude, the intro of the second Vigilante to where the gun is pointed at our prime Vigilante, and just that close up of him with the angry look on his face and just going, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm so worried. We talked about this in week 1. I don't think you were on with us yet. It was either week 1 or week 2, and we're both like, we really don't want this dude to fucking die.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's no indication that that's going to happen, but it sucks that it's like we had to wait this long to get something from him. Yeah. And it's so good. He's so good in this episode. Yeah. That he almost takes MVP from Jen because of the opposite side of the spectrum. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he's so funny, and his line deliveries are great. All the shit with his mother in this episode is awesome. You've been waiting to talk about him, so hit me with some of your favorite highlights of this episode.
So like Peacemaker season 1 is a very unserious, like very comedically driven show. It's a comedy show with some dramatic elements. And Freddie Stroma, for me, in season 1 is the best part of the show. He's an absolute nobody, even more than Peacemaker is. He's what he is to Peacemaker, what Peacemaker was to the Suicide Squad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Where it's like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he steals the show. So when season 2 rolled around and it was very dramatic and we weren't getting a lot of Freddie Stroma and we weren't getting much to do with Vigilante, I worried that, because he's the comedic relief and this is taking a much more like dramatic kind of turn, that he's not going to have much to do. So and that was true for a lot of it. And I almost think that like if I was to have a big critique with the show, it's like if we could tack an extra 5 minutes onto these very short episodes and give it to some vigilante stuff, it would have been great. But finally getting to see him here was just really refreshing. Like we and it doesn't take away from the drama. So it sucks that it took this long, but now that he is here, he is excellent in this episode. He's so fucking funny. He just kills this performance.
And we've got 2 of them now.
And there's 2 of him. I love the idea that again, like that line delivery where it's kind of revealed that he's just as stupid as our vigilante is really fun, because they really trick you in that moment where they're like, oh, he's gonna be like a serious vigilante. And I definitely like felt the, oh shit, like they're gonna fucking ruin vigilante and make him all dramatic. And no, he's gonna stay exactly as goofy as he should be. And he maintains this like comedic relief role, at least for now. I love that the key difference is that he hates Peacemaker. I think that's so great that they're like almost identical in every way except for that. Because to vigilante, that is as opposite as you could be.
Yeah.
Like that's his like defining characteristic, is that he fucking loves Peacemaker. He's his best friend.
Yeah.
Almost all season, his entire role has been like, I can't believe like Adebayo is his best friend. Like he's just upset about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really fascinated to see where that's gonna go. He's probably gonna get into like a battle to the death with this other vigilante over Peacemaker, which is hilarious. Such great jokes, and his deliveries are unbelievable. Him walking through his house, just like not a care in the world, like examining every little thing, and just like kind of laughing about it and like really dying is so fun, because I love seeing a character who is clearly a psychopath with like no moral compass whatsoever still getting joy out of like Cheerios being spelled different. It's just such a fun character, and he really just kills it. Yeah, I love that he suits up. It's the first time we've seen him in a suit all season, so that's great too.
Vinny, what about you?
Yeah, the mom joke is so fucking funny. Like, oh, mom, like, sorry, my mom's a bitch. Like, it's so
yeah, and then he has
funny.
millions of dollars locked up in the basement. Is fucking hilarious.
And drugs.
Yeah,
Insane
just
amount of
coke
drugs.
and drugs, but he won't spend it because it's blood money. It's just so great.
Yeah, I love all of that. Funny enough, actually, I was gonna say the opposite to what you said, Sean, because I think we interpreted it differently. I was gonna say I like that this version of Vigilante is just as good of a person, aside from the psychopath, no empathy shit, right? But he morally, like in the first season, we saw that Vigilante was super anti-racism, like super anti-neo-Nazi.
Oh, true.
He stood up to the Red Dragon. He made himself go to prison so he could fight the neo-Nazis in prison. And that's how I interpreted it here, of like that's the reason why he hates Peacemakers, because this vigilante from Earth 1 is oblivious that they're in a Nazi universe. So it's like, that's why I joined the Sons of Liberty, right? And then that also answered my question from previous weeks when I asked like, remember when I brought up like why this terrorist organization from
Had like a helicopter and
yeah, and then I realized like Sons of Liberty, that refers back to the Patriots from Revolutionary America. So yeah, like, and now it's all adding up, and like now I'm glad that this vigilante is basically like the same.
Right,
like
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
That is a fun way to interpret it.
Did you guys happen to hear about one of the deleted, I don't know if they even wound up shooting it, but one of the ideas that James originally had to have Economos in this other world, how he was going to do it?
Like an alternate Economos?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
It was going to be the quickest gag ever, and I really think it would have been great. But I do think it could have taken you out of it. But it's when Vigilante's walking through the house and he sees his parents in the room. Instead of his mother and father being there, his mother would be fucking Economos. And Vigilante would be like, oh, dude, my mom's banging Economos. And that would have been the joke. And I was like, that would have been great. I would have liked it.
That could have been funny.
But it also could have taken you out of it, so I understand that part of it too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where they decide to go with this. And yeah, like the conflict between the two of them, and one of them being his idol and the other one not. It's a funny throwaway. But the last thing that I guess we haven't really touched on, which you said you couldn't wait to talk about, is we finally get a reveal of a surprise DCU character that was going to be in this episode. I do think I called this like in episode 2.
I think you did too. Which is impressive.
It was Lex Luthor. It was Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Ooh.
And he's in Belle Reve prison. I love that we get him with a limp. We get him with a cane because of, even though it was my least favorite scene in all of Superman, now it actually means something.
When he gets ripped up by Crypto?
Yeah, I just don't like it, the way it breaks up the tension.
Okay.
Personally. It's one of my least favorite scenes in the movie. But there's now a payoff, and now we're also leading into the fact that, which you see in Man of Tomorrow with all the promo images they've been teasing, that Lex is eventually going to get this mech suit that he has in the comics and he has in the animated series and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But Rick Flag needs him. He needs Lex in order to help him with this, I guess, dimensional rift that obviously he had the same technology in Superman. So what did you think about his scene in general, and where you think they might wind up going with this interaction between Lex and Rick?
Yeah, so I'm two-sided about it. So first side is that I love Nicholas Hoult as an actor. I also think he's maybe the best part of Superman. He's a fucking awesome Lex Luthor, in my opinion. I think he's funny, he's intimidating, he just delivers like every line perfectly. I've been a fan of Nick Hoult since Mad Max Fury Road, right? Fury Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that he's coming into this show. I think it's a benchmark for the DCU, because really, if you think about it, perfect example, Creature Commandos. So Creature Commandos has Rick Flag Sr. as like the main character. I haven't watched it. I started last night. I watched like the first 2. So you don't have to watch Creature Commandos. It helps. If you want to watch Peacemaker, you could be like, oh, right, that's the guy from Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. It's fine. You can interpret it fine. Now that we've got Lex Luthor and Peacemaker, I almost feel like now you have to watch Peacemaker if you're going to follow the DCU.
Yeah.
This feels essential now. So I like it for right now. I'm cautiously liking it because I think that once you get like really interconnected, it could take away from individual stories, which has been the strength of the DCU thus far. We talked about this a little bit last week, so I won't harp on it. But I just thought like it's such a it's a benchmark. Like, okay, yeah, we got movie star in Peacemaker now. We've got Lex Luthor. Like everybody knows Lex Luthor. Most people don't know Peacemaker. Most people don't know Vigilante unless you're watching the show.
Yeah.
But everybody knows Lex Luthor. So now, oh fuck, Lex Luthor isn't it's a new level of interconnectivity that is exciting for me to see. You have the main villain of Superman talking to the main character of Creature Commandos in Peacemaker. So very cool. It's just really, really cool. And Nick Hoult is also just awesome here as well. He's like a little bit more dejected. He's playing the same character, but in a very different emotional state. I like that they bring back the score from Superman.
Yes, I agree.
It makes it feel so much bigger. The episode just feels large, and just in a way that like MCU shows never felt to me.
Yeah.
I just never got that same like, oh yes, like it's like a cool post-credit scene.
Yeah, it was the only MCU show. I was talking to my girlfriend about this. I was like, the only MCU show, and they've done way more than DC's done, that lives up to Peacemaker is Loki. For me. Is the only one. And it is probably gonna have a good payoff. We hope in Doomsday.
So.
But like a lot of the other stuff really isn't that relevant. And so I agree with you in terms of that. One of the things I did want to ask you guys is, because some people I've saw talk about this online, and Vinny, I'll go to you first, and then you can give your thoughts on the scene, and then Sean, you, because I think we talked about this either last week or the week before that, when speculating about these characters that we're going to cross over, and we've seen Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl, but who's the other one? Maxwell Lord, Sean Gunn.
Oh, yep.
Maxwell Lord and Guy Gardner, I believe, curse in the premiere, and we get an F-bomb from Lex in this scene.
Yeah.
Did that take you out of it, or did it feel natural, or were you like, not that it needs to be a big concern, but I'm just curious because it is a talking point.
Yeah, I think it's fine because, again, we're playing in the sandbox of Peacemaker, and Peacemaker has been a very mature show. So I think it's fine for me. It didn't take me out of it. But again, kind of piggybacking off of your point, Sean, and then going back to the point that we mentioned way back on week 1 when they had the orgy scene of like, okay, now we're playing with Superman. Superman is Superman. I actually hold the belief that, yes, we should have mature Superman stories, but that, in my opinion, I think Superman should always be a character that should always be enjoyed no matter what age you are. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be excluded to kids. Mm-hmm. I would argue actually that Superman is most important for children. So, but now, right? So I bring up that argument that we mentioned in week 1 of like, okay, wait, if this is going to be so interconnected and so vital, you know, that might spark some concern with like, you know, kids that are following along. But then again, also the creative part of me of like, as an artist, like, no, we should
be open to anything. And everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't even know myself, but it did, to answer your question, to go back, it did not take me out of it.
Okay.
No. John?
Yeah, well, you know, I'm kind of split on it because I totally agree with you about like Superman.
Yeah.
Like, Superman should never be like, you should never be going to a Superman movie and your dad should be like, I don't know if you're ready to see it. Like, it's fucking Superman. You should be able to go and see it when you're 3 years old. However, James Gunn has been doing something that I kind of appreciate, because when we were kids, I remember going to PG-13 movies and they always had their one F-bomb.
Yeah.
Where has that been? That's disappeared. The last time that I saw that in years was Guardians 3. Where even though it's a kids movie, people like Guardians, we still get to see Chris Pratt drop an F-bomb in there. So James Gunn is pushing for more mature storytelling. And I mean, obviously, because every chance that he gets outside of Superman has been R-rated, violent, gory, sex, shit, you know, whatever.
And Guardians.
Yes, and Guardians, true. So now he's, you know, Guardians is PG-13, but you could tell by Guardians 3 he's pushing it.
Yeah.
You know, like we're getting into like eugenics commentary. So like obviously he wants to tackle very mature subject matter. Now, I kind of feel personally that we're in a world where if you have an iPhone, you're seeing way worse shit than anything James Gunn could put on your screen. And most kids have iPhones by the time they're 8. So I kind of feel like, you know, what the fuck ever. But that's not my call to make. So, you know, the reality is that if you start making R-rated Batman, Superman media, that there's going to be kids that are excluded from that. And that does suck. But I echo your point also that, you know, like the artist in me says, like, why restrict them? What is interesting is that Lex Luthor dropping an F-bomb would seem like something that's like, well, he doesn't have to curse. And it's true, he doesn't have to. And I think that's kind of where we're going to see this thought process play out. Because Peacemaker is in Superman for a little cameo, and him not cursing didn't seem out of character.
Yeah.
Because they give him like a little tiny segment, whatever. It's sort of the same thing where, like, okay, Deadpool is going to be in the next Avengers, right? Allegedly. How's that going to work? You know, we haven't had a situation where an R-rated character has been in a PG-13 movie for like an extended amount of time in superhero media yet. I don't think. And that's kind of where I'm like really curious to see how Gunn's going to do it. You know, I think it works good right now in the vice versa, where we can take PG-13 people and let them curse. I don't know how it's going to work when we go from R-rated people into a PG-13 movie, and how that's not going to feel out of character, especially because now it's canon that like Rick Flag Sr. is going to the Nazi dimension and killing people and you know, whatever. But again, I mean, I think it just opens up so many doors to bring in cool people. So I started Creature Commandos. We have a whole universe of Nazis now. I would love the CGI robot.
I was just going to say.
I think I have a feeling we might. But I like how you brought up because there's one that pops up to me where we've seen the transition from PG-13 to R.
Oh, hit me.
Was Logan. Is like the obvious one to me. But we start in PG-13.
Yeah, like Wolverine was PG-13.
And we stretch the bounds of who Logan is for a more mature story. And then obviously in Deadpool and Wolverine, he's cursing all over the place, but it's a sillier approach when Logan is a much more mature, grounded, gritty storytelling.
Even X-Men First Class, his only line is like, he's like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Like that, Logan's like that guy.
Yes.
So it's interesting that I guess they could make him work in PG-13. So maybe I'm over.
No, but I do, and it's also because of the line delivery that they choose for Lex to use the F word. Like it is a sexual innuendo. Like it's about potentially Killer Croc having sex with somebody in the cell next to him.
Yeah.
So like it's interesting, but again, James Gunn, and I saw he was talking about this the other day, actually, not to go too off topic, but he's so excited for Clayface, which is an R-rated film and is a horror movie, because he's like, I can't wait to explore that we can do things like this in the DCU.
Yeah.
So I do think, even though it's a DCU film and there could potentially be crossover, it's like, yeah, so Clayface will probably exist in the same world that Swamp Thing does. And it is still the DCU, but are we going to see Clayface and Superman ever have an interaction? I don't think so.
Probably not.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I am curious on seeing how it all shapes up to be. And that's why I'm so excited and I guess reinvigorated by comic book superhero media with the DCU, because it feels fresh. It feels different.
Yeah. I mean, what's so awesome about Lex Luthor showing up is it really just clicked for me, like, damn, like I actually give a fuck about the DCU. Like, that's kind of insane. You know, if you told me 10 years ago that I would really care about what's happening in the DC cinematic universe, I'd be like, yeah, no way.
It's even more impressive that he's done it in like 3 projects.
Yeah.
That's even more
quick.
impressive to me.
It's
yeah.
quickly. But I mean, now granted, he was someone that came from the MCU and was probably watching how that played out, what worked, what didn't work.
And when the MCU first started, we didn't know that.
Right.
That it was becoming that in the beginning. And now we have the context of
that's the other part that's
universes.
so amazing to me. And that's why Clayface is interesting, because I don't think he wrote Clayface.
He didn't. It was Mike Flanagan.
Right. So he didn't write Clayface. He also didn't write Supergirl, as far as I can tell. I think he's like overseeing
Anna Nagara, yeah.
everything else in the DCU. He's written directly. He is the
So far,
he is the screenwriter. So now we're breaking into that whole world where I'm curious to see how that's going to go.
He does oversee everything. Right?
I know he oversees it, but tonally it's been super consistent.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, you know, we're going to break into a horror movie. Is it going to feel like it could actually exist here? It might feel weird, but, you know, whatever. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But, you know, it's all interesting stuff.
What did you think about the Lex scene? Because we didn't get your kind of overall opinion on it.
It makes me excited. I don't know. I can't really say much. I liked it. Nicholas Hoult, amazing as always. It makes me excited. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the
I
Red Flag
really
owes you something now.
Oh yeah, that
Like,
too.
That means a lot to me in
Mhm.
terms of the future of where we're going, because this is somebody that you see in the context of Superman. He really doesn't want to go along with this dude's plan at all. And now he is relying on him for a favor. And I actually think that could be, again, maybe I'm overthinking it, but that could be where the mech suit comes into play. That maybe that's where like they're like, Argus is like, well, I scratched your back. Now you got to build me a suit so I can do what I want to do.
Yeah, beat up Superman.
Yeah. But the next movie is also supposed to be
A team up?
a team up between the two of them. And if you guys saw the script, it looked like it's a maybe a Brainiac tease
No idea.
as the villain.
I don't even know what that is.
yeah, because it had the brain on the
Yeah.
title cover.
And
on
it's
the cover
also
page.
kind of, there was speculation based on the whole hive mind thing from Superman that they could be going in the direction of Brainiac. And James Gunn's talked about how the animated Justice League is such an inspiration for him, and they do the same thing in the animated Justice League. So
yeah, I still think we're gonna find out so much about the future of the DCU in these next 2 episodes. I think it's gonna become a lot clearer. I think the way Peacemaker ends will definitely set up a trajectory of like, all right, I can kind of see where this is gonna go. The next time this plot thread will probably get picked up is in whatever it's called, Man of Tomorrow, right? Yeah, because I think these next
Or
2 projects,
Supergirl.
possibly. I think Supergirl's probably going to be its own thing, and then at the end it'll be like, oh, there's Superman.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's cool. I like these personal stories that we're getting. Yeah, I would say nothing from Peacemaker is going to get picked up until a little bit later, but I mean, at the same time, dude, very exciting. It's not that far.
One thing I was going to bring up. Oh, so I believe it was you that brought this up, and you might have followed it up in another episode, that we have this alien again.
Oh, true.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
He's in the opening sequence. He's done nothing but throw rats in a container.
Mhm.
What the fuck is going on with this guy? Do we have any theories? Do we have any ideas?
Listen, I mean, I hear you out that it's like, oh, he keeps showing up. I kind of think it's just a gag. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I'm open to hearing it.
I have no context on what I think it could even be.
I think it's something bigger. Just because by the rules of Chekhov's gun,
Mm-hmm.
he was like the first thing we saw this season.
Yeah.
Like they literally like they made it a point to open the season with.
And we get the alien getting shot. in the
Different
intro.
alien.
Different alien, but I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah.
like these interdimensional beings. Like, what the fuck does it mean?
Oh yeah. So I think he's definitely gonna play a part because you don't. That was like the first or second scene of this season was the alien, and I'm like, okay, that has to be a point. That is a loaded gun on the wall that needs to be taken down and shot, right? So I read the theory that it might be a person in the same race / species of Martian Manhunter. So I have no idea.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm so curious on where they're gonna go with that. There was one other thing I was just gonna bring up.
I think he's just throwing out trash. So.
Oh, when you brought up the gag thing, we talked last week about the Prime Eagle.
Oh, true.
And James Gunn confirmed it is not a gag.
Okay.
It has some significance for the for the wrap up of this story and going forward.
All right. He's the Prime Eagle.
He's the Prime Eagle. So I just wanted to get the
Prime Eagle.
I wanted to give you the confirmation that it's not a gag.
All right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit that needs to happen. So I talked a little bit prior to the podcast about how these episodes keep getting shorter. I hope they go longer for these last two. But again, my theory is that this next one's going to be even shorter, and they're going to do a really big finale. That's my guess. But I mean, who the fuck knows? It's a lot to wrap up, though. Especially now we're getting Prime Eagle shit, and you think this alien is not a gag. That's a lot of stuff that you have to plan to do. I mean, Chris is going to have to kill his father and his brother again, probably. We got to figure out what's going on with Adebayo. Is Vigilante going to kill his alternate self? Is Economos going to get murdered? Because right now he's pinned down by the White Dragon. Dude, there's a lot of shit that needs to happen.
There's a lot of threads that we have to follow, but I don't know. I think that's pretty much it, right, gents?
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like, I'm like biting my fingernails. Not actually, but metaphorically, biting my fingernails, waiting for this next episode to drop.
Yeah, man. No, like I said, I just when this one was over, like I told my dad, I was like, Dad, you saw Superman? He was like, yeah. I was like, Lex Luthor's in Peacemaker. You gotta fucking watch Peacemaker now.
Yeah.
Like it's become you have to watch this show.
Yeah.
For me. So I think that's again, dude, it's just crazy. Like Peacemaker is a must watch, but it's nuts. James Gunn's just
he's great.
The boy.
He is. He's awesome. The anticipation's through the roof. I'm clamoring for these next two episodes. I wish that we were getting both at the same time, but I do love that we're getting the anticipation week to week, so that's very exciting. But
cool.
Let us know in the comments, what did you guys think of episode 6 of Peacemaker season 2? Give this video a like if you guys can, and comment your thoughts. We'd love to have a conversation with you guys down in the comments section. Subscribe to us here at the Culture Wave Media Network if you guys can. We're going to be back with our next episode. We're actually recording our episode this week, so it should be out by the weekend, our thoughts on episode 7, so a lot sooner than typically we put these episodes out. And hopefully we'll be able to do the same thing for the finale. So let us know your thoughts. Follow us along on social media. All that stuff is below me in the video. It's also in our YouTube description, and we have tons of other content for you guys and reviews on the channel and things like that, so check all that stuff out as well. Just signing off, I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I've been Sean Villa.
And I'm Vinny Albano.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.